You're listening to the Fan Club Podcast, where two polar opposites experience each other's fandoms for the very first time.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fan Club Podcast. My name is Sarah.
This is Matthew.
And today is episode 29 and the finale of Wanda Week.
Yeah.
So today we are only covering episode 9. It's just the way that
Wandavision fell.
Because we just have an odd number, so one of them had to be by themselves.
I'm glad it was this one just because there was a lot of stuff that happened in this one.
Honestly, I have probably twice as many notes on this episode that I do any of the others.
Yeah.
So I guess it made sense.
So let's do a short recap of the show so far.
Out of her grief, Wanda creates this pocket reality in a town called Westview, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Out of her grief after Vision is killed in Infinity War.
5 years prior. But she was also dusted.
Yeah. So basically she is inspired by all of these sitcoms that her and her family would watch when she was a kid.
Yeah.
And so they kind of seeped their way into her subconscious in some ways. And
I mean, when she was trapped underneath the building, that's all that she could do.
Yeah.
But there is a fan theory that she was magical at that time, which is how she was able
to
survive.
That. I read that too. All of the citizens of Westview have been trapped in this pocket reality, basically. And so basically she meets Agnes, who we later find out is Agatha Harkness.
Yeah.
And this, in all of the reading that I have done, all of the research that I've done post-watching WandaVision, this is probably one of the most comic accurate stories that Marvel has done.
So going forward, from what I can tell, they're trying to go more comic accurate.
But am I wrong in saying that up to this point?
I mean, Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is pretty comic accurate to an extent.
I think that the
Black Panther's was.
I think that the campiness of WandaVision really plays into the absolute wackiness
But Wanda's not, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but I don't think Wanda is as campy as the show makes her out to be.
I think it's just because, obviously I haven't actually read the actual comics. I've read, like, the Spark Notes version of what some of the comic arcs are.
Yeah.
That,
some of the comic arcs are weird.
And, yeah, they're very strange. And I think that...
Are they Doctor Strange? Some
of these arcs are just... I think that they took some of the absolute, for lack of a better word, absurdity.
I kind of wish that they dealt more with how she was born. Or with the, talking cow and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Might have been a little bit more funny to add.
Having read some of the Spark Notes versions of these comic arcs, I think incorporating more of, but I don't know.
It would have made sense to add more of, like, the weirder ones.
I get why they cut it, because it makes it a little more palatable and a little more cinematic. They did talk
about it, the bovine in the
because it's like
store.
There's a lot of Easter eggs that reference the, and so basically we figure out that Agatha Harkness, the villain, was in the Salem witch trials, and she.
We learned that, last episode?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so do you want to get into the episode?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So, this episode is called just the series finale.
Yeah.
So it's not like I really liked when they called episode 8 previously on, because it's like the flashback episode. Which I thought was really clever. I think I said that in that recording, but... Yeah. So, the first thing we see is basically where the last episode left off, and Agatha has captured the boys. She basically has them, like, around the neck with these, like, magic leashes.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to phrase that. And she basically thinks that Wanda is undeserving of her powers because she doesn't
use them to the full explanation.
Well, also, like, Wanda wasn't always aware of her powers until fairly recently.
That's the thing. She thinks she got them when she was experimented on by Hydra.
You know what I think? Is that I think that her powers, I do think her powers were always there, but were brought out by trauma.
No, I don't think so, because she got them from the Mind Stone. She got them from touching the Mind Stone.
Yeah,
So,
but I do think...
But in the comics, the Scarlet Witch is born with her powers. She's not taught her powers. So she always had them, but she didn't know that she had them.
Well, I think that because her powers typically would, at least in the early stages...
But she couldn't control it.
Yeah, but her powers would come out when she was being traumatized.
I mean, it was really... her powers... when she used them in Age of Ultron to get inside their minds, she wasn't traumatized.
I guess.
I'm not trying to blow a hole in your theory. I'm trying not to.
But you see where I'm going.
No, I see exactly where you're coming from, that they're based more on her trauma, which I agree. It is from her trauma.
Because the girl has a lot of trauma.
But she was born with it. And so I think it's more emotion-based at the beginning and not so much trauma.
I think that's what... okay, obviously I don't have the frame of reference with the comics.
I mean, they do come out when she...
But I do think...
grieves.
I do think that a lot of Agatha's frustration is that Agatha feels like she's more powerful than Wanda because Agatha was born with her powers, and that Wanda was made.
But that's the thing. Agatha doesn't know that she's the Scarlet Witch.
She called her the Scarlet Witch at the end of the last episode.
Because she saw it in the book. She saw it in the Darkhold.
Yeah. The Necrocomicon?
Yes, the Necrocomicon.
Listen to our last episode if you don't get that joke. So Matthew made a note to me to say, he literally, when we were watching this episode, told me to write this down, that her fingers turn black, Agatha's fingers turn black.
Mm-hmm. Remember that for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
I'm
not going to say why.
Something we didn't touch on at all in episode 8 was at the very, very end. I really should be aware of this by now, considering it's the MCU, but there was an end scene credit where White Vision is born, where White Vision comes to life.
At the end of episode 8?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, not all the MCU TV shows have that end scene credit.
Typically, okay, so when we watch these, I can usually tell if there's an end scene credits if, like, when the credits start, there's, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
At the end of the...
And usually there's not.
I should have noticed that. It was my bad. I did not notice it until I was doing a little bit more, like, looking at, like, Easter eggs and stuff like that I realized that there was NC credits. There's also an NC credits to the finale episode that I have since watched. Yeah. But, I really should be... I should be scrolling to the end of all credits of MCU projects, but I just didn't think about it. So basically, White Vision swoops in and tries to attack Agatha.
White Vision swoops in and tries to kill Wanda.
That's right. You're right.
White Vision is the real Vision. So in this part, because in this episode there are two Visions. Yeah. White and the one that looks normal.
And don't worry. We will talk about the Ship of Theseus because Matthew loves it.
It is a great philosophical question.
We're jumping ahead, but
I know,
we will talk about it. Don't worry.
It is a great philosophical question. But White Vision is the real...
See, I made a distinction here because I did not realize this when we were watching it, that White Vision and what we have known as Vision
is a construct.
I thought I had them flipped.
No, White Vision is real Vision.
Because I, in my notes, made a distinction that I said White Vision, and then I said real Vision comes to save her. And I have them flipped.
White Vision is the Ship of Theseus.
Yeah, I know. But the Vision that we have come to know, the one that's in color...
Yeah, is her a figment of her imagination.
Yeah.
So, we're going to say... I don't want to say real Vision and fake Vision.
White Vision and regular Vision.
But White Vision is regular Vision.
White Vision and
Red Vision?
Yeah, let's do White Vision and Red Vision. It's
Okay.
the only way to do it.
Like, because we can't say Real Vision, because the real one is white. We can't go White Vision and Real. So, that's the weird part.
So, then we flash to Monica and fake Pietro, Evan Peters. And we basically learn that, I think it's in this scene, that we learn that Pietro... We knew this, I think, that Pietro was not Pietro.
No, so that's the thing. So there's another fan theory that goes that she
ripped open the multiverse and pulled in X-Men.
No. She saw that there was another version of Pietro out there that didn't look like the Pietro from here. So he just happened to be living in Westview.
Yeah.
The copy. So...
And so basically...
It was more to mess with Wanda.
Monica is trying to get some information, and...
Yes, Pietro
traps her.
Ralph.
Let's go Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Or MCU Pietro.
Yeah.
Or X-Men Pietro?
We basically... Eventually we learn that his name is Ralph.
Yeah. Which is... So she does it... Ralph is not really her husband.
Ralph is... We learn in a further scene that Ralph is a struggling actor.
Yes, just from, like...
He's just there.
But he's not... I don't think he's from that town. I think he's from somewhere else, and Agatha just...
They never say.
That's why I think the fan theory might work, is that she opened up the multiverse because of the Darkhold. And saw that there was a Pietro in another universe that looked like this dude.
So you don't think it's Ralph?
No, what I'm saying...
Oh, you think that she hired this guy to play other multiverse Pietro.
Yes.
Got it, okay.
Because he looks like... He is the X-Men's Pietro.
They've never explicitly said it. And in an interview I read with Evan Peters, he said that it was the MCU's, like, kind of joke to hire him. Mm-hmm. And he loves the MCU, so, like, he had no problem doing it.
Because at this point, the X-Men weren't a part of the MCU yet.
It was just kind of like their little... It was just like a little joke that they did.
Let's just have fun with it. Because, I mean, Marvel has had other TV shows. Like, Marvel's had X-Men. They've had the Defenders.
Also... in the episode that he premiered in,
which was 5.
It was playing into, again, we're going to talk about sitcom tropes. It just is what it is.
It's the long-lost brother.
Well, but also the way that he shows up in the scene at the end of the episode, at the front door, a long-lost brother. It's like the big...
Or a long-lost family member.
It's the big trifecta of, like, the super special guest star. Plus, it's a well-known actor.
It was also very sitcom, or not sitcom-y, soap opera.
Yeah, exactly. But
I wouldn't say so much sitcom.
But I think I don't want to call it stunt casting, but I guess it is kind of stunt casting.
Because, I mean, they could have gone with anyone, but they went with the X-Men's version of Pietro.
Because it's not only is it Evan Peters, the actor.
It's still Pietro.
Yeah, exactly. But
technically.
But also Evan Peters is a recognizable face.
Yes.
But also it's the added layer of he's Whiplash.
Quicklash, not Whiplash.
Whiplash?
Whiplash.
Quicksilver.
Why do
I keep calling him Whiplash?
Because
Whiplash is
Iron Man 2 villain.
Yeah, I know.
Not Max.
Why?
Is it Maximoff? No. What's his name?
Ivan Vanko.
Ivan Vanko.
What's his? It's not Mickey Rourke, is it?
It's Mickey Rourke.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Mickey Rourke is a character.
So he basically...
Especially if you've seen him on Masked Singer.
Oh yeah, we are big Masked Singer stands in this house. Don't come for us.
His performance is still the funniest. Where you just quit halfway through.
I'll never get over the fact that Duff Goldman's head fell off in the middle of a performance. I'm sorry, if you want an absolute fever dream of a mindless TV show...
Which is hilarious, by the way. Like...
It's It's completely mindless and completely freaking stupid, but it is entertaining as hell.
Like, it is really, really funny.
And it's just, like, it's one of those shows for us that, like...
It's like, we're recording this at the end of September, and they just aired their first episode of the new season.
It's the beginning of October, dear.
Beginning of October. My bad. I had the weeks off. Days don't mean anything. I work nights now, so...
Then Hayward basically wants to kill Wanda.
Okay, so, another issue I have. I know I talked about it previously. How is he tracking Vision?
Somebody pointed out that he's tracking the vibranium.
He's not real vibranium.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused.
He's not real vibranium, though. Wanda can't create vibranium, otherwise...
Because they have the real Vision.
Yes.
They have Vision's corpse?
The only thing
Is that morbid to say Vision's corpse?
No.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it's Vision's corpse. Unless if they let Wanda take a piece.
Like as a memorial or something?
Maybe. In tracking that little piece? Maybe. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know, her powers maybe morphed that piece. And that's a big if, though.
That's a big if. Like, if you have your own theories, and I'm talking to, like...
Or if we don't have some piece of the information, let us know.
That we missed. Because
I read something somewhere where, like, Hayward and Sword were tracking the vibranium, but that's not...
No, that's what they say.
That's not the real Vision.
I don't think Hayward was actually tracking. I think that was just a fake screen that he was just saying.
Let us know if you guys have any input on this, because I don't know if I'm just being stupid. Agnes basically tells her that it's her destiny as the Scarlet Witch to destroy the world.
It is.
Because the Scarlet Witch is laid out in the Darkhold. And Agnes awakens the entire town from their, like, kind of dream state, I guess. And they're all, like, pissed at Wanda.
Because Wanda is essentially...
She kidnapped him, basically.
She lets the town go, but she starts seeing Vision and her kids start to suffer. And so she redoes everything.
That's at the very end.
No, she sees them suffering and then puts up the portal.
Oh, yeah, because the people come to life, but...
And they're begging her to stop, and then she puts them all back under.
Vision and the boys are not part of... They're manufactured.
Yeah.
So they kind of start, like, falling apart a little bit.
And then she realizes it and fixes it.
Yeah. And so then we go back to Monica, and who we now know is Ralph, who we touched on as a struggling actor. She finds his headshot and a water bill.
Yeah.
With Ralph Boner.
Yeah.
Bonner? I think Boner was the joke they were making.
I think because it's
because he's like this stoner, like deadbeat kind of dude. So the town is like begging for help, and she lets people escape the hex.
And then she lets. This is when the military comes in.
Yeah, she basically has the choice between saving Westview or Vision and the boys.
So she takes down the barrier, kind of, but for just long enough to let the military in and let people out.
And then White Vision swoops in.
Yeah.
And
Vision and White Vision start fighting each other.
She basically tells her boys, because the boys have powers, she
go
tells
play
the
with the army.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I would tell my son to go.
But she knows that they're not real.
I guess they're superpowered.
Yeah. If our son has superpowers, I'm going to say, go play in the street. Go have fun. Do whatever you want.
Really?
If he had superpowers, absolutely. You don't think I would? I would see what my superpowers are.
So basically the military is about to shoot the boys, and Monica jumps in, and the bullets go right through her.
Yeah, but she slows them down. So she takes that energy from them.
She also glows for a second.
So, the fan theory goes...
Is that was it Photon or Spectrum?
No, she is Spectrum. She is. No, the fan...
That's confirmed?
Yes, that's... Monica Rambeau in the comics is Spectrum.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Yeah. I said it in the last episode. When she started
I vaguely remember that, I just wasn't sure exactly.
So, the fan theory goes, she changes the glow depending on the type of energy. So, like, the bullets were kinetic energy.
I know potential energy is going up a roller coaster and kinetic energy is going down. That's all I know.
Potential so, easiest way to describe it, a spring. When it's compressed, it's potential. When it's released, it's kinetic. Because potential means what can happen. It's going to explode, but when. And then kinetic is, oh, I exploded.
So it's like when a bomb is about to go off versus it already did?
Yeah, the potential energy would be the bomb itself, and then the kinetic would be the shrapnel. Would be the kinetic.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So her body will change slightly glowing colors depending on the type of energy.
Because her eyes kind of like turn yellow. They also earlier in the series like turned purple at one point.
It turned blue when she was going through the portal.
Mm-hmm.
When she was going through the wall, because the wall was more, which you saw when she was going through it those multiple times, it was blue on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So it was blue energy. So that's why her eyes were blue when she was going through it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, thermal energy, she would probably glow more red for thermal. Because red is the
I
just
wonder
color
if she's just gonna be, if she's ever gonna get her own movie, or she's just gonna be in others.
That's the thing.
Because I'm interested to explore her character.
From what Kevin Feige said at D23, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly what he said. All the movies going forward will be smaller team-ups. So more than likely, Monica Rambeau will be with the Marvels. More than likely, if I had to take a guess.
Okay. Isn't the Marvels mostly women, too?
Marvels is Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Ms. Marvel was introduced in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Well, considering she's buddy-buddy with Captain Marvel.
That's the thing. I don't think she is. I don't think...
Oh, you don't think they're on good terms? They kind of seemed she seemed a little sketchy about her. Like, they maybe had a falling out.
She also dipped. And
she got dusted.
No, what I'm saying is...
Monica got dusted, what I'm saying.
I know that. No, what I'm saying is Captain Marvel never came back to Earth.
Yeah.
After saving the planet, after finding the Skrull a home, she never came back to Earth.
Oh, that's right, because they're just communicating with... Oh, no, she came back to Earth when she saved Tony. But she left right after that.
But that was the only time.
She left right after that.
No, she came because of the pager.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why she came back to Earth. Otherwise, she would not have. She pretty much gave up on her home planet.
Yeah. So there's got to be something there. I think that is a plot point that I feel like they'll explore later.
Or they may save her for the end of the multiverse saga.
I'm interested. Let me tell you, our Captain Marvel episode goes live tomorrow in real time.
Mm-hmm.
But Monica is definitely the shining star of that movie. She's
a kid.
I know, but in retrospect, in my personal opinion, knowing more about Monica nowadays. Anyway, so this is where we get the Ship of Theseus.
Yes.
Would you like to explain?
So, the philosophical question with Ship of Theseus.
Matthew is full of his philosophical...
I love the Ship of Theseus analogy. It is by far one of the better ones in philosophy.
What is it for those that are not aware?
So,
I guess if you watch this episode...
So, the Ship of Theseus is a real ship. It was a Greek ship from a long time ago. It's in a museum. I have no idea which one. But,
I can Google it.
But the thing goes, the Ship of Theseus has been repaired. So, is it still the Ship of Theseus, or is it a new ship? Because if you fix something completely, if you take away the entire broken part and you put in a new part, replace another one, and eventually the original ship is not going to be there anymore. So is it still the same ship, in your opinion?
I don't know. So basically, according to legend, Theseus, the mythical Greek founder of Athens, had rescued the children of Athens from King Minos after slaying the Minotaur, and then escaped on a ship to Delos. I apologize for my pronunciation. Every year, the Athenians commemorating this legend by taking the ship on a pilgrimage to Delos to honor Apollo. Mm-hmm. The question was then raised by ancient philosophers. Yep. The first known account of the Ship of Theseus, it was preserved by Plutarch in his writing The Life of Theseus. Okay. Just for any of those history buffs out there.
And none that listen to our podcast?
Some people are into that stuff.
Yeah. No, but what's your opinion on it?
Like, okay, if you were in, like, a heinously bad accident, right?
Yeah.
And you needed, like, a bunch of skin grafting and, like, some prosthetics.
But you would still have your same internal organs. So you would still be the same.
But, like, mentally, you're still the same person. I mean, yeah, you're changed, but, like...
Okay, what about a car? Let's do something more inanimate object. Let's do a car. If you completely replace the entire inside of the car, the body of the car, everything after a car being totaled.
Or if, like, you're doing renovations on a house. Yeah. So let us know where you guys stand on the Ship of Theseus. I'm very curious to know. Vision, Red Vision gives White Vision all the memories.
Unlocks the memories.
Yeah.
Which is weird. How would Vision is a construct. So Vision doesn't have those memories. How does he know to unlock them?
Agatha is so desperate for Wanda's powers. Like, she wants the Scarlet Witch powers.
Uh-huh. Because she says Wanda doesn't know how to use them correctly.
Agatha wants her powers.
Yes.
Agatha blasts her powers at Wanda. And then Wanda casts the protection spells.
Earlier in the day. Or no, that's what Wanda was doing. So Wanda and Agatha were fighting in the sky while her kids were fighting the military down below. Do you remember when she was just shooting blasts at Agatha but missing? Mm-hmm. That's what she was putting up. Mm-hmm. Were those.
Yeah.
Without her knowing. And then...
I also love the the very strange choice that during this scene, Agatha is standing on a billboard for, like, some kind of cleaning spray. Which is very weird to me.
I think it was just a billboard that was there.
No, it was like a fake advertisement.
I know it was a fake advertisement.
But it has something on the billboard that says, like, something about squeaky clean or whatever. But I just think it's, like, the whole time I'm just looking at this advertisement behind her. Because it's, like, this happy, cheery advertisement.
Yeah.
And it's, like, Agatha's this, like, dark purple witch. Yeah, no, I'm not necessarily commenting on the actual billboard. Yeah. I just think it was just a weird juxtaposition is all.
Yeah. So they go back up and they're fighting in the sky.
Wanda removes all of Agatha's powers and she embraces the Scarlet Witch. Mm-hmm. And she lands on the ground and she's in her, like, Scarlet Witch outfit. Yeah. With the red leather and one of the things that I, like, really, really want is the Mickey Mouse ears with the Scarlet Witch headband.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have no plans to go to Disney whatsoever, but I want them so bad.
You just like Wanda.
I really like Wanda, and I think her outfit is badass. She basically locks her in Westview and turns her back into Agnes, like the
nosy neighbor.
And basically, Wanda and Vision and the boys decide to go home and say their goodbyes, and they put the boys to bed. Mm-hmm. And it's actually, like, this really
sweet moment.
Like, it's really poignant. Like, through the window, you can kind of see, like, the glow of the red kind of closing in.
Yeah, it is closing in.
It does remind me a little bit of Once Upon a Time with, like, the magic barrier
coming and
smoke.
Going. Yeah. Coming and going in every other season, pretty much.
God, that show is a dumpster fire.
The first couple seasons were good.
Yeah.
Then they started going into newer Disney IPs like Frozen, and somehow they brought in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I don't know why they brought in Wizard of Oz.
No, they brought in Wizard of Oz because the Regina
is Wicked Witch of the West's sister.
Yeah.
And then they brought in the villains, and they went to the underworld. It's a weird show. Yeah. I used to love it in high school, though.
It was just the first 3 seasons. Then it got weird when they brought in Frozen, in my opinion. Because I think they were running out of ideas.
So, Wanda and Vision say goodbye, which is like this really sweet, very sweet scene.
Yeah.
And the barrier closes in, Vision disappears.
Mm-hmm. Wanda goes back in her grief and gets back into her car.
And she leaves the town. She's wearing like a sweatshirt and jeans.
Or she goes back to the town square.
Yeah, and
she walks back to town.
And all the townspeople are like
just glaring at her.
Yeah, and she just puts up her hood. And she flies off.
Monica says something like, "Good luck, Wanda," or something. And she turns into the Scarlet Witch and flies away.
And this is where you get this end credit sequence I didn't know existed.
This creepy one.
And it's basically
Wanda's living in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and first of all, it's this long tracking shot.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty cool.
It zooms in on her sitting on the front steps of this cabin in the middle of nowhere.
Her to the bath, or not to the kitchen.
She goes to the kitchen, makes a cup of tea, and then it goes back into the bedroom, and she's like studying
the Darkhold.
Yeah.
But an interesting
I did not know that existed until like a week ago.
So something interesting actually, with her doing the Darkhold, like reading the Darkhold, usually to astral project, you have to be asleep. Like, you can't be doing multiple things at once. But she is. She's awake, walking around, while her astral projection...
Well, I mean, like, is it a similar astral projection that, like, Doctor Strange can do?
Yes, but Doctor Strange has to do it asleep.
Or otherwise incapacitated.
Yes.
I do think that there is a possibility of Agatha coming back. Because she is trapped in Westview, but, like...
No, Wanda trapped her in her own head to be that character.
Yeah, but it did leave something open.
I don't think so, because Wanda will be the only one that can break that. And then we get the creepiest, in my opinion, of that end-scene credit, where she hears her son saying, "Mommy, help." Yeah. And then it stops.
Yeah, because she's looking at the runes and all this stuff, and then she basically her head snaps up and she listens, and it's a little boy going, "Mommy, help me." Yeah. And yeah,
Which opens up a whole nother fan theory.
What is the fan theory?
It's kind of spoils for Doctor Strange.
Okay, that is our finale of Wanda Week.
Yeah.
Next week we will be covering Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
which will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
It will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Just because there's less episodes.
There's only 6.
What a tonal shift. We have watched one episode and it could not be more different.
But that's the thing. Wanda, Falcon, Loki were all being filmed at the same time.
I have especially a friend of mine, you know who you are, that loves Loki. When she was originally watching Loki, she was like live tweeting it, and I didn't read a lot of her tweets because we weren't even thinking about this podcast at the time. But I remember when I wasn't reading the tweets just because I didn't have any knowledge of it. But when the trailer for Loki 2 dropped, she was so excited.
People weren't expecting a Loki season 2. People wanted it, but we didn't know if it was going to come or not. Like, we know Moon Knight will probably not get a second season.
I don't think Wanda needs it.
No, Wanda won't get another season.
I mean, okay, there's a small part of me that maybe believes that WandaVision could have maybe been a better movie.
No, it needed
There's
to be
a lot
a
of
show.
Information.
It needed to be a TV
But I
show.
do think episodically it worked way better as a show.
Yeah. I mean, that's why MCU's been doing so many more TV shows than movies.
Because the sitcom format wouldn't have worked. But,
No,
so overall,
not in the slightest.
What did you think of WandaVision?
It's not my favorite, but it is a great start to the multiverse saga.
Are you like me where you liked the campiness at the beginning, or did you like the more...
I like the more action.
You liked the end of it, the second half.
Because it answered a lot of questions from the first half.
I just loved how, in the grand scheme of the MCU, the first half of WandaVision is just so unique. I'm just saying, going from WandaVision to Falcon was a little bit of a whiplash situation.
Yeah.
Just because they are so vastly different in tone.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see where it goes. And yeah, so join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week.
Yep.
For Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye. Bye.
If you would like to send us any feedback or any messages, you can follow us over on Instagram at thefanclub_podcast or on Twitter at fanclub_podcast. Or you can discuss each episode with us over on our subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/thefanclubpodcast. And make sure that you tune in every Marvel Monday.